goes a little slower, but even then, if it's the right house, it's going because you have that California Bay Area coming in here with cash,
Of
buying
course.
it up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's things go fast if they're priced right, typically in multiple offers, even in this market that everybody thinks is so slow. It's the problem that we're having is supply and demand.
My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is the Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome back to the Closing Table. I'm your host, Kevin C. McIntosh, and joining us on this episode, ready to break down real estate in her market, we're excited to speak with Nicole Gust. How are you, Nicole?
I'm great. Kevin, how are you today?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation to be here on the Closing Table. We appreciate that, Nicole.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Like I said, I love you're innovating, you're showcasing. I love all that. Here for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's start off by talking about you. I always like to get to know the person on the other side of the camera. So if you can, in 60 seconds or less, Nicole, tell us who you are outside of real estate.
Well, I am, my friends call me Nikki G. I'm Nicole Gust. I am a 40-year-old mom of 6, wife. I love this community. The Reno Tahoe area is so amazing. I mean, I ski, I boat, I hike, I gamble, all the fun things that, Little Vegas, they like to call it, has to offer, except, so much more in this biggest little city. But no, I'm just a gal who kind of thrives in chaos and truly loves her family, her friends, and her community. And I want to see that thrive. So that's me in a nutshell. Love my people.
Hold on, that was a lot. Did you say a mother of 6? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
A mother of 6 with a social life, apparently, and a professional real estate agent. Very successful at that. How are you juggling it all? How?
Coffee and Jesus.
That's legit. That sounds legit. That's the recipe. Love it. Love it. Okay.
I thrive in chaos. I don't know. I'm super high energy, kind of a nightmare, but probably one of my best and worst qualities. But no, I came from a big family and I'm pretty ambitious. And again, like I said, I love my people. So
right.
Real estate and, having a bunch of kids kind of goes hand in hand with that.
Yeah, you said you thrive in chaos. That's an example of it. Gotta respect the mama on her business. Okay, cool. So let's talk about your real estate business now, Nicole. I just want you to describe it for us. And if you are able to, talk about how long you've been licensed, your niche and or specialty, and any notable achievements you may have.
Okay, I can sum that up. Well, I got into the business about 20 years ago in 2003. And it was, by happenstance, I had just moved back from Southern California where I was in college to come back to the University of Nevada, Reno here. And I was going to classes and I thought I was going to be a teacher, oddly enough. And I needed to make some money to, work. And I got the receptionist position at a local firm here named Dixon Realty. And because I'm kind of always looking for side projects and side hustles, I started working for some top producing agents on the side, processing their files, doing stuff like that. And they wound up hiring me. A pod of these 5 top producing agents wound up hiring me to be their assistant. So I was doing that from 2004 to around 2006-07. And then the market kind of in 2007 took a turn. It was the boom when I was their assistant. So I was juggling lots of files like escrow. And I was kind of running files. I mean, I was innovative back then. I had, we didn't have the Instagram or all that stuff. And we didn't have a lot of the marketing tools, but I was a whiz at publisher. Man, I could make a newsletter and print it out, like the best of them.
Okay.
So then in 2007, a lot of the gals' business turned, and one of them, who was a top producing agent here, her name is Karen Baker. She was like, you know what? I'm taking a chance on you. We're not going to go down in the market. We're going to go up. And she got she decided to take on Lake Tahoe Sphere, which is very high end lakefront listings. And she said, you're going to run my Reno Sphere. And that was in 2008. Been licensed and dangerous since 2008. And she really was my mentor, and I grew my sphere here. I mean, I graduated high school here. I have my family here. So it was really easy to kind of tap into that. And I hit the ground running
Right.
and I fell in love with real estate and the whole process. And so that's been it.
Ooh, talking about being experienced. You know what you're talking about. You have seen it all in the
Yeah, I got
last
into the
20
market and it
years.
crashed.
Yeah. Yes, you have seen it all. I mean, like, that's the story of a true experienced real estate professional right there. Like coming in before the market crash or housing crisis of 2007, 8,
Mhm.
dealing with it, like not quitting because of that, like sticking through it, like starting off on the assistant side, coming in, like you've touched on so many different aspects of the real estate transaction and the real estate industry. Like to be on the other side of it where you are now just shows that you can get through anything that the real
Yeah,
estate
I mean,
industry is going to throw
and
you.
when people talk about the real estate market now, it's funny because,
Mm.
like you said, in 2008, people were coming to the closing table selling their homes and having to either pay money or losing their homes.
Ooh,
So when
I
you
know.
hit that
Yeah,
kind of rock bottom,
yeah.
you can get through anything.
Yeah, well said. Well said right there. Let's dig into where you are doing your real estate business, your current market. You already said Reno, Nevada. Let's
Yep.
describe that a little bit more geographically for our people. Just get into the details of that market. What's it like living in Reno? You were there your whole life. What is it
Mhm.
like? Just describe the culture, the environment, the people, the weather, everything.
Well, it's, the thing about Reno is people think that, they think Reno and Vegas. Actually, we're 8 hours from Vegas, and Vegas is
Yeah.
is Southern California,
Mm-hmm.
hot weather. Northern Nevada has, four distinct seasons. We've got the Sierra Nevada mountains. We are actually only 3 hours away from San Francisco, 2 hours away from Sacramento. So we are right there on the
Mm.
border of California and Nevada. We are 20 minutes from Lake Tahoe, which is an amazing, beautiful lake. And there's a lot to offer in terms of outdoor stuff, right? You also have Nevada, which legal gambling is legal. And until recently, I'd say, the last 5, 10 years, it was kind of small podunk town. Like I said, they called it the biggest little city. It's still a little
Yes.
wild, wild west here.
Mm-hmm.
Changing because of the Californian demographic that's coming here, which I think change is good. We're here for it.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's still in some parts of this, you can carry a gun. You can carry a gun and have it out. It's like, where am I? Or so the culture
Yeah,
here
that's definitely
is,
Wild
it's small
West.
town,
Yeah.
but
And
it's now starting to grow and we're starting to see immense growth. So it's beautiful. It's a beautiful place to live and raise your family. Easy to get to everything.
hmm as
And yeah,
as as someone as someone who is I've visited Las Vegas a couple of times years back, but as someone who isn't too familiar with that area, when I hear Nevada, I believe like most people, I think of Vegas,
yep,
right? But if you look geographically on the map, Nevada's right next to California, and just like the perspective you painted, we're in the same state as Las Vegas, Reno, but we're 8 hours away. We're
yeah,
closer to a few
it's a big
California
city.
cities. Correct, correct. So as I start to think about the real estate industry evolving, prices going up, cost of living going up, specifically in California, I can see people making that transition to a place like Reno, where it'll probably be a lower cost of living,
Mhm.
and et cetera. Correct?
And it was a lower cost of living at one point, but now we're higher
Ah,
cost than Vegas. And part of that is because with
whoa,
the economic climate of California, we have had a lot of Californians come because of the
makes
tax
sense.
incentives of living in Nevada. They
Yep,
live here and then cross that border because
then
again, it's
work
three
there.
hours to get to San Francisco. It's 2 hours to get to Sacramento. Why not
Yeah.
live? Why not have your primary residence in Nevada? And because the property values are so high in the Bay, they come here and this is dirt cheap to them.
Yep. 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 Good
But
point.
it's because of that influx of people and supply and demand, it's cost of living and housing to go up.
That is a great point. I didn't even think about that far up. But how about the fact that are people really doing a 2 to 3 hour commute on a daily
Well, I mean, if
just
you
to
think
go
about
to
people that live in LA, yeah, they're used to it. I mean, I live in
what?
Reno. It takes me 15 minutes to get everywhere, so I wouldn't
Yeah,
do it.
man.
But if you're
No.
saving $30,000 a year crossing the border, yeah, you might make it. Or
I feel it.
with the
I
remote
feel it.
work, maybe you're not even going into an
Yeah,
office.
exactly. Good point. Good point. Wow, great perspective. Okay, so let's get into because you shocked me with saying the Reno prices are just as much, if not more, than Vegas. Let's talk about it now.
Yeah,
What
Vegas is
it
actually cheaper than Reno right now.
that is, so let's describe. Let's get into your market on the economic side. Let's
Mhm.
talk about the prices. Average price points in your market, sale to list price, days on market, any data information you can give us.
Okay, well, just a brief overview, because people kind of get lost in the numbers, but the median home
Yes.
price here is about $500,000. So, which
Whew.
isn't a ton for like Californians, but for us, yeah, I mean, you can't, if you're a first time home buyer, you can't get into a house for really less than $500,000 in a decent neighborhood. And
Dang.
that's a lot. That's $500,000 for a first time home buyer. We have hardly any inventory. When the market crashed, building kind of stopped. So they've been trying to catch up ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, things get gobbled up really, really fast if they're priced right. The higher end market, which I would call the luxury market here, probably 800, 900 and above, um, goes a little slower. But even then, if it's the right house, it's going because you have that California Bay Area coming in here with cash,
Of
buying
course.
it up.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's things go fast if they're priced right, typically in multiple offers, even in this market that everybody thinks is so slow. It's the problem that we're having is supply and demand. We just don't have enough houses for
Whoa.
sale.
Yes, yes. Same story that we're hearing in most markets across the country. I mean, there's few and far in between markets that are rarely affected by, the
Yeah.
inventory and the demand and things of that nature. But yo, to hear that Reno is like being priced in a 500,000 and above, I
Mhm.
would have never guessed something like that, especially more than Vegas.
Yep.
Vegas is new sports teams, new casinos,
All of
new
it.
new
Mhm.
everything, but little Reno, Nevada priced more than that. I mean, when
Mhm.
you look at it geographically and the context that you just provided, it's starting to make sense now.
Yep. It's
It's
because
starting to make sense.
we're so close to that Bay Area
Mm-hmm.
and so
Mm-hmm.
close to that border where all of these things are kind of translating.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to talk about your niche, which you consider luxury real
Yes.
estate specifically. So we are talking about the higher end real estate in that market. How did you, first of all, what do you consider luxury real estate specifically in your market? And then after, talk about what led you to get into this specific niche of real estate.
Okay. Well, luxury in this market, again, still a little wild, wild west. It's actually twofold. Here in Reno, it's
Mm-hmm.
about 900, 800, $900,000 homes and above, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things that have, like you said, amenities, communities and amenities. They have upgraded features, those kind of things. But that's the price point that's considered luxury here. But if I go up the hill to incline, we're talking 25 million. 25
Ooh.
million, 20 million. These lakefront homes. I mean, we have my company has homes for sale from Tommy Hilfiger that, from all of these big, Tiger Woods. These properties are below your
Wow.
socks off lakefront listings that are 25 to 75 million dollars. So that the idea of luxury can translate depending on where you're going.
Mm.
But the reason why, and again, I do it all. You call me. I have clients that have their kids that are buying condos. I deal with investors who are doing 1031 exchanges. I'm not turning anybody away. I love a challenge and I love to help people. And but my specialty where I get like really, really excited, I do love the negotiations of every transaction. And I do love first time home buyers. But what I love about luxury real estate is it is the marketing, the vibe, the brand. I mean,
Yeah.
the creativity that I can put into marketing a luxury home and being able to translate that into creating a lifestyle is fun. So, and I'm good at
That's
it.
it.
And most people that are at the luxury level are very business oriented, which people have called me things like a shark and things like that. So as much as I'm like kind of touchy feely, which you think that I'd be a little bit more, I guess, maternal since I have 6 kids, but I'm kind of one of those that like my negotiation game is good. As much as I love showing a pretty house, get me in for the negotiations. And at a
Nice.
business level, I think that with my experience, luxury clients know that they want to hire me because I'm going to handle it. I'm going to handle it.
Mm.
I'm going to get it done. So at the
Mm.
luxury level, people are more willing to let me just run with it and to, you know, trust me and my job and how to do my job. And that's what they're paying me to do. When it's some of the, first time home buyers or it's not, it's a little bit more emotionally charged. And which again is
True. True.
definitely a strong suit of mine as well because I love people, but I really love the negotiation part. It's kind of like, I don't know. My poker face is good.
I love that. I love that. That's the serious business part of it, though, right? Getting down to the nitty gritty, making sure needs and specific requirements are met and whatnot, and that's when you really shine as a professional. So I get that. That shows that you are a dog when it comes to getting in that fight. But
I yeah,
you gotta
I
like
always
that,
and again to bless both sides. I'm not trying to, screw anybody or not
of
have it be a
course,
win-win.
of
But I
course.
really would like to, I love representing my client and I really educate myself on some of the ins and outs of a transaction. So I know
Hmm.
what's in the best interest of my client and I'm ready to defend it. So that's what you hired
Hmm.
me to do is protect your best
Oh
interest,
no.
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then what you touched on, the fact that working with luxury properties, this you hit the nail on the head, because you said when you're working with these luxury properties, you have a lot more to work with, a lot more
Mhm.
creativity than just a standard single family home. Like you're
Right.
dealing with possible.
A tract home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're dealing with in-ground pools, indoor pools, basketball
Yes.
courts, tennis courts. Like you can turn that into a
Heated
I've
driveways. You've got,
yeah.
leather granite countertops. I'm like, oh, I mean,
Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. See, I've seen agents literally make mini movies out
yeah.
of the videos they would do for these luxury property listings. You can't do that with every home. So
No.
I got that when you said it. I said that makes so much sense.
I
Yes,
mean,
that is
it's fun.
perfect.
I mean, we had this riverfront property, and we did a full lifestyle shoot. We had horses brought in. We had actors playing the guitar on the fire.
Ooh.
We had a drone coming down. It was, I mean, that's fun.
That's epic. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. All right, cool. So I want to ask you about that, keeping it in the luxury, like specifically in your Reno market. What are there any specific trends or features with these luxury properties that are currently attracting high-end buyers?
So what I'm seeing in the luxury market is people want to be in communities that have amenities. They want a pool, they want a golf, they want golf course, they want,
Right.
tennis courts, they want a gym, they want exclusivity. So luxury clients want to feel like they are living a lifestyle, right? And this is when I
Mm-hmm.
talk about it's more than just even what's in your home. Yes, do you need all that stuff? Do you need a built-in coffee maker? Sure. Do you need to have a sauna and a gym there? Sure, possibly. But really, it comes down to livability of the community and the exclusivity of their lifestyle that that community provides them. And the home is just variable based on luxury taste. Sometimes you like people with like mahogany and books. Other people want clean and modern. Yeah, so it's just that's a matter of taste. But the trend I'm finding is they want lifestyle.
Right. 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 Yeah, that's I can see that. If you're paying that high end, not only do I want a lot of square footage, but give me that that like
Yeah,
we said, the in-ground pool, the heated floors.
of
Oh
course.
my
And we're
goodness.
finding too that things have changed where before you think of luxury people just want to have all of this square footage of just space.
True,
But
true.
people now want that space. Yeah, they want a lot of square footage, but they want that space to be usable. They want to
Yeah.
have things that make sense for the functionality of what they're trying to do. So it's less about having big empty dining rooms anymore with big chandeliers. And it's more like we want a big functioning office, or again, we wanted an indoor gym, or we want to have like things that are working for our family. We want an open kitchen so we can entertain. We want two islands so we can cook. Like these are
Mm,
the things that we're seeing
mm.
trend now as opposed to just having stuff to have stuff.
Right, 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 right. Good point. Uh, so that made me think of some technology. What about technology in these luxurious homes? I feel like when you think of the future, you think of technology being incorporated in the homes, the smart doors, smart lights, and things like that. Are you seeing a lot more of this being incorporated in the
Absolutely.
homes? Oh, please,
Absolutely. And that's a
please.
good point. And that's a good point because people want things automated. They want to be able to
Okay,
press the
yeah.
button and their blinds go, or they want to be able to put
Hmm.
that on a timer and they know what time the sun is hitting for that. They want to be able to press a button and have things done for them. They want the security. They don't want to carry around keys. They want
Yep.
everything, they want the thermostat run from their phone. They want it all smart now. They want to be able to not have, before it used to be luxurious to have, that central vac where you'd have that
Yeah.
vacuum that would plug into the wall,
Right.
or the big speakers, the surround sound
Mm-hmm.
speakers. And now all
Mm-hmm.
of it is just so streamlined. I mean, you have vacuums that just run themselves. So obviously, a central vac system isn't be carrying around a vacuum from room to room isn't considered luxurious, but you see that trend in technological advances on the luxury level. So yes, absolutely. Tech
Nice.
is a top priority. Got to have it.
Nice. That's probably like, besides having maybe like an indoor basketball court and a pool in my house, I gotta have like a lot of cool technology.
Yeah,
That's what
oh,
makes it like
absolutely.
that to me.
I want
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah. You gotta have
indefinite,
some dope
man.
technology.
I say something and
Yeah.
it gets made. Fold all my laundry. I
Yeah.
want it all done. I
Oh,
want it
I
all.
know, right? Oh my goodness. Take me there. Take me there. So since we are on this podcast, and I noticed that you have a nice microphone set up, and like I said, when we first started, I said, this is not your first time. This is because you launched your own show. Actually, last year, January 2023, it's called the Growth Lab Podcast, about the chemistry of growing your business, life, and family in the Reno, Tahoe area. Now let's
Yes.
reflect. We're a year out from now. How do you reflect on the progress thus far, and what ROI or value do you get from your platform or give?
Okay. Well, I mean, so it's been an interesting journey, and I'm taking a little bit of a new, I wouldn't say maybe new approach, but I'm taking a little segue off of it because of what I've learned. So my
Okay.
goal of this podcast really was, like I told you, I love this community, and I want, there's a lot of really great local businesses and families here that do some amazing things. So I wanted to showcase some of these people that are running these nonprofits, these local businesses, so people can, hear and see who they are as people and what they're doing, and also get tips and tricks on, well, shit, if they did it, I can do it, right?
Yeah.
And what are the habits of these people that are making an impact in our communities? So it was twofold. One, to get exposure for their businesses, and I, would give them social media content as well.
Yep.
Two, to really, get some tips and tricks myself. I love rubbing elbows with people that inspire me. And ultimately to grow this podcast where, I was thinking maybe to get some sponsors or notoriety. I have one sponsor. They are wonderful, that I shout out every podcast, but I don't think that it was a monetary gain I was looking for on ROI, more just connections
Okay. Right.
and,
Right.
really learning. And I think that this year I brought a lot of entrepreneurs and nonprofit leaders to my podcast. But this year, I think what I'm hearing from my following that I've asked and polled on social media and polled through email, is we want to talk about some of the things that are going on in our community. So, where I'm going to go is maybe not so much an entrepreneur, but now I want to talk to teacher. I want to talk to somebody who's doing mental health
Ooh,
with
good
children.
point.
I want to talk to a beat cop, Reno 911 cop, and find out what's kind of going on and what they're seeing transpire
Mm,
in our community and how maybe the public needs to know or how we can help. Um, and just so I think, again, shine a light onto what we're, because we're living here and we're growing our families here. What's going on here? And what are the
yeah.
people that are in the trenches doing?
Yeah.
So that's where
Ooh.
we're, I'm going with it now. But again, the ROI is just, again, this exposure and learning and growing. And it's just like you, it's a kind of a passion of mine to associate with like-minded people.
Correct. Correct. I absolutely understand and get it. I'm just asking the question for you to kind of just convey it for the audience, but I completely understand. It's been about a year for us also officially, since we started the Closing Table podcast. We might
Yeah,
be
and
around the same
I've
time.
a couple amazing guests, and again, it's
Correct.
just a learning and an evolution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You just learn a lot, and you make your adjustments accordingly, and but our what we get from this is the same thing. It's not a monetary gain per se. It's really of continuously making ourselves relevant in the digital spaces, creating great content, networking, building relationships with people. So it's
Yep.
really just about that. I mean, we're moving more and more towards digital content being the value,
Yeah.
and being what attracts people and whatnot. So we're trying to continuously put ourselves in that space and
Corporate.
make ourselves relevant. So I get it. I get it.
And also that just, I mean, the connections that you make through this. I mean, the fact that you reached out to me, we're not the same area, and just to get that exposure for, and information is huge.
Correct.
And you make
Correct.
these connections for life. And like I said, people inspire you. You know, you're inspiring me with what you're doing. So, you know, I'm here for this collaboration and us growing our businesses together and using these platforms because what other platform are you going to be able to get? I always tell my friends, I went viral on YouTube. I get standard like maybe 100 views. My kids always make fun of me. Mom, you got 5 followers on your YouTube channel. But I had this one reel that I uploaded to my YouTube shorts, and I think it's at like 19,000 views. I was like, shit, I'm
Ooh.
going viral. I'm going viral.
Wow.
And
Yeah, no, that's,
all it
yeah.
talked about was, you know, why Reno. And I bullet point, you know, a quick little reel of why Reno's great. I've got, you know, all the things minute long. People just like the hate comments. But it kept bringing
Oh
my,
yeah. Oh
uh,
yeah.
keep it coming. It was like,
Yeah.
don't go to Reno. Stay out of here, Californians.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
she's
yep.
ugly. Oh, she's
Oh
pretty. I was like, oh, keep
wow.
commenting because every time someone comments, it was, you know, rolling to the
It
top.
drives
So
the
I was like, oh
engagement.
man, I
Yep.
went viral. My son's like, you didn't go viral.
No,
19,000.
relatively speaking, you went viral. I understand that part.
Where else am I getting in front of 19,000 people, Kevin?
Yep. Mm-hmm. I get
I mean,
it.
this is where we got to be.
Yep. Yep. 100%. No, you know what's crazy about that too? It's funny because like you don't know what's gonna stick. You don't know what's necessarily gonna work. You just continuously put stuff out there, and then you look up one day like, oh, this couple thousand views and
Yeah,
a
no, what
lot
I
of
did,
hundreds
like,
of
do my hair
engagements.
for. Like the one you
I know, right?
did.
It's always that one.
I'm like, wait, what
It's
about the one that
always
I spent
that
hours
one.
stressing about to do? And the one that I like did on happenstance,
Right.
now going, you know, like,
That's
geez.
a fact. That's a fact. But you know, now that you mention that, it's so funny because I think about content creators and agents in the Detroit market. They make videos very similar. Why,
Mhm.
like the cover will say, or the title will say, why you shouldn't come to Detroit, or why
Yeah,
you should come to Detroit, or things you shouldn't do, or things you should know. Like it'll say things like that. And it's the same thing. People have a lot of things to say, whether it
it's
be
the
a
and
lot of negative, a
you
lot of
want
positive.
that. You want
Correct.
to comment. I don't
Correct.
care what you're saying. Like keep it, you know, keep hating because
Yeah, keep
I
the
need
hate
more
coming.
views. I'm
Yep.
going viral.
Yeah. I love it. Rewinding to the fact that you are a mother of 6. I can't tread lightly on that. That is, I have one son. He's 2. I feel
Oh,
like I have 14 kids. So I
you know
know
what?
it's
It's
tough for
all
you.
relative, and 2 does feel like 14, man. That's
Right.
a fun age.
You made parallels between being a successful real estate professional and a mother of 6. I understand it, but what would you consider your toughest obstacle as a real estate agent, and how do you compare that to your toughest obstacle as a mother of 6?
Well, it's both the same circus coordination. But
Oh.
um, you know, as a real estate professional, and again, not to go even like, you know, political or anything like that, but you know, I'm
Hmm.
a woman, I'm a mom, and
Hmm.
people have their preconceived notions, whether they want to believe it or not, about women in business and moms in business.
Hmm.
I'm pretty. I would not consider myself a feminist actually at all. I mean, if I always joke, as someone said that, you know, if I won the lottery, I'd be pregnant in the kitchen, and then my always friends, you're too ambitious. Again, even if money was no object, truly, again, my passion is this community, so I would at least be doing something, you
I
know, in the
feel it.
community to that extent. But you know,
Right,
I am
right.
ambitious, and I love what I do.
Hmm.
So the biggest challenge I've had is probably the juggling of the career. Like, and there has been some things intricate in the different transactions where you have to navigate. But I'm really, really good under pressure, and I really like to think outside the box. So those things I've always kind of been excited about that typically would be daunting to other agents. But again, I think the biggest challenge has been, you know, growing this business, trying to scale it, delegate appropriately because I'm kind of a control freak. Like I like things done and how I like to do it. So that's been my biggest challenge is trying to, as my business grows, be able to delegate appropriately and scale it so that everybody gets what they need. So, you know, that's my biggest challenge in real estate in my profession. And then as a mom, kind of the same, right? Like what do I need to delegate? What can I do myself? What's my glass balls? What's my plastic balls? And, you know, where do I want to
Hmm.
be? How do I want to show up and making that happen while running a business? So I mean, with 6 kids, my youngest is 4, and my oldest has just turned 13. They're busy, man. And I just thought, I had 4 kids under 4, and I was growing my real estate business, and it was tough. It was tough. And I thought, like,
Ooh.
God, once I get all these kids out of diapers, I'm going to be cruising. No, I'm now a glorified Uber driver I got a kid who thinks
Yep.
he's going to be Tom Brady. He's the quarterback of this football team. He's super athletic. My 13-year-old's 5'10", 175 pounds, size 12 men's shoe. Like, and he is
Whoa,
athletic.
13.
Yes, and he's 13. I'm
Whoa.
5'10", so I guess, and my husband's 6'1", but still, this kid's gonna be tall, and he's on the football team, he's on the basketball team, he plays baseball, and his brothers are playing baseball and football, and my daughter's in competition dance, and now my
Love
youngest
it.
daughter wants to play, basketball, and my daughter Ann at 4, I'm like, sorry, chick, you're sitting out, you're sitting out. Again, there's only so much. So, Ubering these kids, and they're getting their personalities. So, and everybody's
Yep. Yep.
funny thing about people is, like, you'll say, my first kid was an angel, my second kid's saucy. It's like, no, all mine are big personality. I mean, I don't know where they get a big personality from. I'm clearly quiet and coy and shy. So it's weird. I don't know why they're so crazy. But yeah, no, it's the juggle. It's delegating
Yep.
where you
Yep.
need to
Yep.
and working with your time constraints, because you only have
Yep.
24 hours of a day. And knowing what do you have to do with that 24 hours to make sure that all the balls stay in there.
hmm And just like you said, I don't care what industry you're in, you got to deal with those different personalities.
Yep.
That was a key one, because even if they're your kids or your coworkers, you have to deal with multiple personalities.
Multiple
Yeah.
clients, everybody's got a different, way of doing things, and
Yep.
making those
Nope.
adjustments.
Communicating differently with different people. Yeah.
Or
It all
even,
makes,
like,
yeah.
realizing things about yourself in sales. I come from a big family. I have a big family. So I'm like, I would be fine if everybody was just on top of me. I don't have personal space issues. But clients are
Oh,
different.
okay.
I met this guy the other day, and I grabbed his arm. I would shake his hand. I kind of grabbed his arm, did one of those. And he goes, "Whoa, you're in my personal space." And I was like, "You're absolutely right. I was totally in his personal space." And he was, again, people have different proclivities to, and
Mm.
preferences. So I said, "I apologize." And now I've been really mindful about the fact that I can't just come in. If I met you, I would be like, "Hey," some people are okay with it. Some people aren't.
That's
And
yeah,
reading
yeah,
the
yeah.
room.
Being mindful.
You just got to read the room.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Yeah, no, you got to read the room. Yep, exactly. So I know we don't have a crystal ball in front of us. We can't predict the future, but we are in 2024 and we are starting the year off. So,
Mhm.
I guess it's kind of like a two-way street question, if you will. Just making predictions for 2024. Do you want to tell us what your goals are for 2024? That way we can look back on this a year from now and see what you said. Or do you
Yeah.
want to tell us what your predictions are for real estate in your market for 2024?
Well, I guess let's do both. My goals
Come on.
this year, they've changed. I'm pretty competitive, so I've always wanted to be. For the past several years, I've been top producing agent in my office, in numbers and things like that. But last year, when there's been some things personally transpire with me, and just it was a very big transition year in the market and with me personally, which I think is fitting, because I feel like the market has been always mirrored what I've kind of been going through personally.
Mm-hmm.
So taking that, I did not take a step back in my career, but it was a shift, and my focus shifted. So yes, do I want to be a top producing agent? Yeah, but it's now quality, not quantity.
Mm.
I want to do. I really want to cultivate more relationships in that business and help as many people as I can do that. So I'm not even going to put. So this year, I'm not even going to put a monetary, goal up.
There we
I
go.
just know that I'm going to be doing more of this, creating connections. I'm going to be showing up more for my family and for my clients. I'm going to be loving on my clients and on my sphere a little bit more this year than I ever have, and really streamline some processes so that my service is the best. Because I'm telling you, I believe I'm the best real estate agent there is. I do. I believe that. I'm here for it. I want to, and I want all of my stuff to mirror that.
There it is.
Because I think that this year we're going to have some issues with the fact that people are expecting this real estate market to crash and what they're not recognizing is even last year, is at least in our area, we had a 3% price increase. We had no price decrease in our area. And
Yep.
that even with the fact that buyers and sellers were in a little bit of a crunch because, interest rates hit almost 8%, if not 8%, depending on your credit score. Um, and we're seeing them start to come down. Those buyers didn't go away, and we still don't have any houses to sell. So unless we have, a shift in either more inventory in new homes or sellers decide that they need to make a move, and you always have the sellers need to sell, divorce, death, all those things. But people right
Hmm.
now don't have the equity to translate to make a move up or translate to do things because even that equity hasn't penciled going forward to their mortgage payment because of the interest rates. So unless we start seeing more sellers come to the market, we're going to have bidding wars with these buyers. These buyers are going
Oh
to
yeah.
not have homes to buy, and that's going to price this stuff up again. And then here we go. So that's
Mm.
frustrating for especially first time home buyers, especially people that don't have enough cash to pay above appraisal. And that's where it starts to, you want to see new blood come into the market. You want to see people first time. You want to see the American dream realized. You don't want this to just
Right,
be a
right,
game of
right.
the rich. And that's where we have to really get good at representing our clients so that we can get them into homes the best we can and think outside the box on how to do that.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. I would agree with that. I thank you for participating in that because I like being able to make statements like that about what we see for the future because ultimately whatever we say for the most part we want to kind of manifest it, unless it's something bad obviously,
Right.
but we
Right.
want to kind of manifest it. So to create content like this where we can look back a year 2 years from now and say this is where my mindset was and this is what I did achieve since then. I like to be able to reflect on that. And even with your predictions for the real estate market going forward, it can kind of just gauge maybe where you were, where your thoughts are, how you were reading the trends previously, and how you feel like that would affect what it will be going forward. So thank you for explaining that, for giving that. I would agree with that for the most part also,
I mean, we
especially
don't have
with
a crystal ball, but that's kind of
correct.
what I'm seeing.
Correct. And that's why I said based off what I know, I would 100% agree with you. And
Right.
even being in different markets, I still agree to some
Yeah.
point. Well said. Well said. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. We appreciate you for pulling up a chair to the closing table. At this point, if you have any last words or want to tell people how to reach out to you, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. Well, again, I'm Nicole Gust. I'm known on Instagram, YouTube, all the things as your Reno real estate expert. Um, I would love to help you with your Reno, Sparks, Lake Tahoe real estate needs. You can hit me on my website, yourrenorealestateexpert.com. And yeah, hit my socials. Would love for you to follow along. I'm going to be doing a lot more with of this stuff, and just getting the word out there, getting myself out there, a little more authenticity, I guess. If anybody wants that, I don't know. But thank you for having me on. You are a doll, and it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you. And make sure you check out Nicole's podcast, the Growth Lab podcast.
Oh yeah.
Support. Please and thank you. And if you got into this point in the video, please do us both the favor and hit that like button, please and thank you. Make sure you also subscribe and share the content.
Great.
And
We
if you
gotta
are
take a
listening,
selfie too.
hey, we
Got
taking
it.
selfies. Nice.
Gotta do for the
Yeah.
social.
Absolutely. And if you are listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Give us a like, a 5-star rating, and also share the content. And I'm going to leave a question for our audience also. So this is for you. In your personal opinion and preference, what is necessary for a property to be considered luxury to you? Don't tell us now. Leave it in the comments below. Besides that, we'll talk to you next time.